Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
This week on Muscogee Vision, Program Director Angela Fish details the services offered by MCN Elder Services Department. Gilcrease Museum was host to the Illuminatives organization. MCN Behavioral Health held a week-long QPR training throughout the jurisdiction. Thanks for watching Muscogee Vision, and we'll have all that after this quick break.
The way we present ourselves sends a message.
It can be the loudest voice you have.
Let your song ring out. We are still here.
Remind the world of your ancestors. Make them never forget the resiliency of Native people.
These are threads.
These are threads.
These are threads.
These are threads for the tread you make.
Hey guys, it's your Muscogee Vision community calendar. It's banner season. We are offering a variety of banner styles for parades, awards, graduates. 10% off all banners for schools and nonprofit organizations. For more information, contact Muscogee Creative. Email at creative@muscogeemedia.com. 2019 Senior Games, Friday, May 31st. For more information, contact Christy Carson at 918-732-7765. Spirit of Oklahoma Football Camp. For more information, call Muscogee Youth Services. May 29th, we'll be bringing the spring celebration to Henrietta High School at the new gym, 1801 Troy Aikman Drive. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Registration on site beginning at 9:30 a.m. For any questions, contact Lauren Massey at 918-752-5969. Grow OK 2019 Workshop. Get to know your perfect customer. Several workshops will be held throughout the state throughout the summer as well. This workshop will be held from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Lunch will be provided. Please register at growok.org. GED classes provided by the Muscogee Creek Nation Employment and Training. Classes begin May 6th at the College of the Muscogee Nation in room 103. Address is 2170 Raven Circle here in Okmulgee. The schedule is Mondays and Tuesdays from 4:30 to 7:30. For more information, contact Employment and Training at 918-732-7773. Youth Mental Health First Aid. A young person you know could be experiencing a mental health or substance use problem. For more information, call Nancy Mason at 918-549-2557. Creek Nation Festival 5K is back, Saturday, June 22nd. 3 ways to register. You can do it online, you can mail in the form by June 19th, or you can register in person by 5 p.m. on June 19th as well. For more information, contact Sean Partridge at 918-732-7979. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at some of these great events.
Illuminative is an organization dedicated to improving the portrayal of Native Americans in news and entertainment media and ensuring that educational curricula taught in schools is respectful and accurate. Muscogee Vision visited Gilcrease Museum in Tulsa to hear more about the Illuminative organization.
Today, this Illuminatives event is about presenting research related to perception of Native peoples. This is over $3 million went into interviewing the general public, members of Congress, federal judges, executive branch officials, others about perception of Native peoples. And then how do we take that research and start to plan on how we implement that into positive social change here in Oklahoma. There's a lot of misunderstanding about Native people, but invisibility is the primary problem. People don't understand or believe that there are Native peoples are modern tribal peoples, they're modern tribal governments that continue to exist and thrive today. So there's still this view that we are people of the past, and so that invisibility is the new form of racism. If you see the stories that are told primarily in media and in film today, it's really usually that same sort of narrative, that same sort of story that shows a pre-1900 people or stories that buy into stereotypes. Or we look around us all around today here in Oklahoma, there are still mascots that promote stereotypes and the conduct that goes with those mascots that promotes and gives voice to stereotypes that are false about Native people. So what we're doing here is an opportunity to confront those, understand what they are based upon a sophisticated set of data, and then understand where do we go from here and how do we change and educate Oklahoma about who we are and our stories without hearing from other people, without other people telling our stories. I think, our non-Indian neighbors and allies and friends, they just need to understand our stories better. They need to understand who we are, and I think perceptions, in fact our data demonstrates that with some greater education, more information, that perspective change among many Oklahomans and many Americans.
Illuminative was founded out of this research that we conducted, and it was the largest public opinion research project ever done in history about what do Americans think about Native peoples, and how do those public perceptions and sort of stereotypes and narratives about Native peoples, how does that actually impact Native peoples at all levels of society. And what we found is that these sort of false narratives, or the fact that we're largely invisible in American society, really fuels racism and discrimination against Native people. So Illuminative was founded out of that research to really begin to re-educate Americans and to really look at, from that research, how do we disrupt the invisibility that affects us? How do we smash these stereotypes? How do we re-educate Americans that all the things that they have pretty much been learning in school about Native Americans are false? And to also help to really educate Americans that the invisibility and the stereotypes and the kind of false narratives out there, they really cause harm to Native people. It affects our children, their psychological well-being, to the way it impacts policies and a variety of different things. So Illuminative is really about translating that research into action and changing the story about Native peoples and about educating Native people, and it's about educating all Americans. And it's really about amplifying Native voices and contemporary Native voices and stories, so that we are truly seen and heard and represented in an American society. Illuminative cannot do this on our own, and that's really why we're trying to get the research out everywhere into the hands of Native people from everywhere, and our allies too, because it's, even as Native people, if we sort of put it on full blast, this system, to your point, this has been going on since the inception of this country and before that, right? These sort of domination of Native people and these sort of master narratives that serve to kind of show us to be lesser, inferior people, that have been used to rationalize taking away our land and creating policies and laws that really harm us. Our theory is about getting this research out and really empowering Native people and allies all over the country to begin to not only use the research, talk about it, but then really devise strategies about how they're going to educate people in their own community. How are they going to start to change the narrative in their own community, and then how do we start to work together to do that? Because this is about building a movement. This is really what it's so deeply entrenched in the systems of K through 12, media, popular culture, our government. It's really about how do we build a movement. But the first step is being able to identify the problem and to being able to get that data. And now we have insights into strategies that can start to do that, but we really have to work together to make change.
I sit on the board of Illuminative, and Illuminative is a new organization that is taking the national research conducted and administered by EchoHawk Consulting, with Crystal EchoHawk at the forefront, to examine what are non-natives' perceptions of natives, because we know those perceptions and misperceptions inform the law and public policy that that impact tribal sovereignty, the right of our nations to protect our own citizens, and the welfare of our children, as well as the mental health of our children in terms of self-esteem and Native mascots. So Illuminative is taking that work and working with K-12 education, with film and TV and theater, and really trying to figure out where are those misperceptions? How can we message around them? How can we educate non-natives about who we are today to create progress going forward, to restore more tribal sovereignty, to restore more dignity in terms of how non-natives see us, and to restore, really to rehumanize natives who have been dehumanized in American popular culture. The dehumanizing narrative of our people is very long and very ingrained, and I think it's not just the movies and the westerns that legitimize shooting and killing us, but also the fact that most Americans, non-Native Americans, think it's completely fine to dress up as an Indian at Halloween. I mean, we've been made into a character, not a real human in terms of Americans' public perception of us. But what this data allows us to do, I can tell you as a Cherokee playwright, I've been knocking on the doors of theaters across the United States saying, you've never produced a play by a Native playwright. You've produced plays by non-natives that use red face, where white people put red makeup on and feathers and do crazy stuff on stage that's really dehumanizing. Why not produce your first play by a Native playwright? And their response is always, you're a small part of the population and there's not an interest in your stories. We need to do something that's relevant for more of the population. And what this data shows is there might be a lot of ignorance as to who we are, but there's also a lot of interest. And that when non-Native Americans are given just even a little bit of the truth, they want more. And I can say too, in line with this data, one of my plays was I had the first Native play to ever be produced at Arena Stage in Washington, D.C., a major theater there. Most non-Native folks walked out of that audience saying, how did I not know this? And I want to know more. How do I learn more? And I think what we'll see is if we can arm our tribal leaders, our Native journalists, our artists, our Native artists with this data, our educators, folks working in K-12 education or at universities, to use this data to gain more traction with those non-Native institutions that have so far excluded our voices, I think we're going to really start to see progress. But I think we have to be real with ourselves that it will take a while, because that harmful narrative about us is so ingrained in American culture.
If you have questions about Illuminative or want more information about the study referenced in the story, go to illuminatives.org. Principal Chief James Floyd has proclaimed May Older Native Americans Month, and over the course of May there are several events honoring our Creek elders. Muscogee Vision traveled to the Green Country Technology Center to attend the 2019 Elder Fair and spoke with MCN Elder Services Director Angela Fish about services offered by the program.
This is our first time ever having this Elders Fair, and it is to promote connecting elders with various departments and services that might be available throughout the community and within the Mvskoke Creek Nation. We had different departments to have booths, to share information, to answer questions as the elders have, and just to give them an idea that there are some various programs that might be available for them if they ever need it. We have approximately 18,060 elders within the Muscogee Creek Nation. I think that was what the last enrollment was when I last checked, and this number is going to only increase as our elders start aging out. And I think by the time of 2030, the elder population is going to significantly increase because the baby boomers are going to be aging, becoming 65. And so, there's going to be a need for a lot more services. Within the Elder Service Department, we have 4 sub-departments. We have the Adult Protective Services, we have the Caregiving Support Services, we have the Senior Services, and then the Social Security Assistance Program. With the Adult Protective Services, with the APS program, anytime an elder is being abused, neglected, or exploited, any person can make a referral to our office, And if an elder is resided on restricted land or trust land, and they want to, and they're being abused, neglected, or exploited, then we will definitely look at the report, determine whether it meets our criteria, and if it does, assign it to a worker to initiate an investigation. If a person doesn't reside on tribal land or restricted land, then we have a good working relationship with the State of Oklahoma Department of Human Services, Adult Protective Services, and we would make the referral to that entity. The Caregiver Support Program is a program that allows this department to work with an elder, and if they have some personal needs and having problems with maybe activities of daily living, and trying to perform these activities of daily living, then this program allows an aide to come in and to help provide services for them, whether it's run errands or do laundry, maybe some meal preparation. The Social Security Assistance Program is a program that helps with, let's say a person is needing to apply for disability with the Social Security Administration. Our program will assist that individual with that application process. Sometimes a person may be denied, and if that's the case, then our workers are able to help them with the appeal process and to help them go along. And even if they need an attorney to help represent them, they can make a referral to an appropriate attorney to help them with that legal representation throughout the appeals process. But they also help with people who plan on retiring. If they need to make application for retirement benefit or early retirement or just regular retirement, then they can assist in that process as well. They assist with Medicare, Medicaid applications as well. Senior Services provides lawn services during the summer and wood delivery during the winter. We also have an elders advocate that assists citizens ages 55 and over with any issues they might be experiencing, whether it might be something that they're having problems within the department or even an outside entity. The worker will go out and help them with, she'll complete an assessment and determine what their primary needs are and help them with that process. So we do have scheduled on May the 31st our senior games, and it allows our seniors to come together and participate in various games that have been set up.
If you have any questions about the 2019 Senior Games or any of the services offered by the MCN Elder Services Program, give Christy Carson a call at 918-732-7765. May 12th through the 18th, the United States Department of Health and Human Services Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration holds National Prevention Week. As part of this national program to increase public awareness of mental health and substance use disorders, several suicide prevention community training sessions were held throughout the Muscogee Creek Nation jurisdiction by the MCN Department of Health. Muscogee Vision spoke with MCN Behavioral Health Grant Project Coordinator Tyler Stone about the QPR training.
So we know that in the state of Oklahoma, there's roughly, per 100,000 people, there's about 20 people who die by suicide per 100,000 people for Native Americans, which is the second race ethnicity in Oklahoma, the first being whites and non-Hispanics. So we know that suicide is a huge issue for Native Americans. Between 2003 and 2014, there was about 1,500 Native Americans who died by suicide. Now that number can be underreported. It could be much higher because oftentimes when a suicide occurs and they do the death report, they may not know if that individual is Native American if they don't look ethnically Native. So we know that number can be underreported. We know that Native Americans, some of the leading risk factors for suicide are substance abuse, interpersonal issues such as marital or relationship conflicts, And we also know that having a history of suicidal thoughts or having a plan is among the highest as well. So those are some of the risk factors that we talk about in some of our trainings that we do called QPR. QPR stands for Question, Persuade, and Refer. It's a 1-hour suicide prevention training that we provide for everyone. We work a lot with the hospital, we work with tribal departments, we open it up to community members as well. We believe that suicide is everyone's business, and we believe that you don't have to be an expert to help prevent suicide. We believe that everyone plays an important role in saving the lives of other people who are struggling. So in this 1-hour training, what we do is we go over some statistics, and we also break down the Q and the P and the R. The Q stands for question, so we're wanting to teach people, how do I approach and how do I ask the question, are you thinking about killing yourself? Now that's very scary to think about, and a lot of times we believe that if we ask somebody if they're feeling suicidal, that we might plant that idea in their head, or we might kind of push them over the edge. But what we found in the research is that if people are feeling suicidal, then us asking about their suicidality is only going to open up those lines of communication, lower that anxiety. It's going to make them feel less isolated. So I'll give you an example. If you lose, let's say, a family member in whatever way, you take a week off work and you come back to work and in your face you're still kind of struggling, right? You may be sulking at work, you may be obviously depressed, right? And let's say that nobody acknowledges that you're feeling sad and they've kind of moved on and they expect you to move on too. That's going to make you possibly feel a little more isolated, and maybe that somebody may not care. Well, that's what's going on with people who are feeling suicidal or having depression or anxiety or any kind of mental health disorder. So it's actually best for us to acknowledge that they're suffering and ask them about that, and then persuade them to get the help that they need. And that's where the P comes in. So we're persuading them to get help, to seek help, whether we're taking them to get that help, whether we're giving them resource information, but we're wanting them to get the help that they need. At least go and get checked out and just see, get a psych eval or get a suicide assessment done, just kind of see what's going on. And then the referral part is we teach people how to refer somebody to help. And the best method that we do is we take them directly to somebody who can help. This can include outpatient services such as behavioral health here at the tribe. This could be the hospital. If you're non-native, this can be Cree Oaks. This can be somebody in Tulsa, such as Shadow Mountain or Laureate or Parkside. There's a ton of different resources out there. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we talk about with QPR, is just letting people know that it is scary and it is kind of a heavy topic to talk about, but having a little bit of extra knowledge can help make the difference. Our number is 918-758-1930, or you can call 918-758-1910 if you can't reach us at the 1930 number. Just give us a call and let us know that you're interested in being trained in QPR. We offer them all the time. We don't always offer community-based ones, but if we have enough people, then we will. So every year we do National Prevention Week. So we'll do 1 or 2 QPR trainings in each county, and we'll just offer it to the community and say, if you want to get trained in it, come on out. But if we don't have any of those trainings that are available, give us a call. We can set something up and get some people trained. So for National Prevention Week, each day kind of focuses on a different preventative method, whether it's underage drinking, whether it's tobacco prevention. The grant that I work for, we focus on suicide prevention. So in the past, what we've done is we've always had the 2 QPRs that we've done in Muscogee County. But this year I thought, why don't we expand this and reach some of our other audience? Because we always do a lot of work here in Muscogee because we're based in Muscogee. But we have such a huge service area. Let's expand out. Let's get out as far as we can. So what we're able to do is we attend monthly coalition meetings in most of the counties that we serve. So what we've been able to do is just collaborate with them and say, hey, can we borrow your building? Can you guys help us promote this through some of your channels? Since you guys are embedded in these communities, how can we get the word out? And that's kind of what we've done for this year, is just really expand it as much as we can. At the end of Prevention Week, what we do is, this is the 3rd annual 5K Health and Wellness Run. Native Connections and Tobacco Prevention and Muscogee County TSET Healthy Living Program, and they've just kind of grown since the first year. It was just a simple little fun run 5K, but this year it's both of those things plus some cultural games plus a resource fair, so it's a lot bigger event. It's just growing and growing, and that's kind of what we end Prevention Week every year with, is a big 5K 1 mile fun run, and always making sure that we provide resources for people that come out, so and goodies and stuff like that as well. So the two that we promote the most is the crisis text line, which is 741-741. You text the word CREEK to 741-741, and within a couple of minutes you're connected to a crisis counselor. This is all text-based. It's available to anybody of any age. It can be any crisis. It doesn't have to be suicide crisis. The number one thing that we found the data with our crisis text line is that one of the common things that people text about are relationship problems, which we know can be a risk factor to suicide, but it's really any kind of crisis that you're going through. It could be anything. If you just need somebody, you need an unbiased ear to talk to, and you just need somebody to kind of listen and process through what you're going through. You don't really feel comfortable doing it over the phone, you can text that number, and again, it's 741-741. You text the word CREEK to that number. And then of course there's the hotline number. That's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number, and it is 1-800-273-TALK. Yeah, and you can call that number. You can even call that number if you are worried about a friend who is struggling with suicide. So it doesn't have to be you necessarily who's in the crisis. It can really be anyone. If you're worried about somebody in your life, in your family or your friend who is in a crisis, you can call that number and get some support that way as well.
Thanks for watching Muscogee Vision. As we sign off for this week, we wanted to remind all the viewers out there that the Muscogee Nation Festival is just 1 month away. Festival season here at the Creek Nation begins at 6:30 p.m. on May 30th with our Miss and Junior Miss Muscogee Creek Nation Scholarship Pageant. This year, the pageant will be held at the River Spirit Casino Resort in Tulsa. For more information on the pageant, visit MuscogeeRoyalty.com. MVSKOKEROYALTY, or call 918-549-2601. The festival has numerous events going on throughout the month of June, such as the golf, slow and fast-pitch softball, tennis, horseshoe, volleyball, and basketball tournaments. In addition to sporting events, the festival also has many cultural highlights, such as the Scholars Forum, the Living Legend Ceremony, and the annual Stomp Dance. The festival is a great way to spend the end of June and provides free musical entertainment and a fun fair for the kids. For more information on the festival events and entertainment, visit creekfestival.com. Muskogee Vision would like to thank Angela Fish, Tyler Stone, Crystal Echohawk, and everyone else that made this week's episode possible. And once again, remember that Mado means thank you, and Hadum Jihijathes means see you later.